Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode, Brew for Business. Actually, today is a special episode, so I opened up a second day because I had such a fantastic response to searching for guests here in Colorado. So now we're doing them on Wednesdays and Fridays. So today we are in Cuppy's Coffee Shop down in Fort Collins area. Super cute space. Art on the walls from local artists that you could actually purchase. And you can see, so it's beautiful. And I'm here with Kate from Live Beyond Limits, and I can't wait for you guys to learn more about her. So without any further ado, cheers. Cheers. Isn't this coffee cute? So cute and fun. Love the vibe and delicious coffee. So Kate, hi. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Good. And oh my gosh, hopefully you guys could hear us. We might have to talk a little loud. Are you originally from the Fort Collins area?
No, I am originally from Maryland. So
Maryland?
I was born in Maryland, and then I was really raised in Virginia. I grew up in the Williamsburg area, like Colonial Williamsburg, Jamestown settlement area.
Nice.
Which is really beautiful, and then just a very different type of beauty as Colorado. And then I moved out here in 2010, I think, in 2010. I moved out here and have been here since. So it's maybe 2012. I don't know. A long time.
It's been
ago.
a long time, and you obviously loved it because you stayed.
I did, and I opened up my business here and have set quite a few roots.
Oh, that's awesome. I love the Maryland area and Virginia area. My sister lives in Pasadena,
Okay, yeah.
Maryland.
Nice.
So I've been there quite a few times. My brother's in DC.
Okay.
So when I go visit them, we're all around the area. And then he used to live in Alexandria.
My sister used to live in Alexandria. I'm pretty familiar with that area. And then Towson and Maryland, like Baltimore, Maryland, Stevensville, Annapolis.
Yeah.
Is where like a lot of my family is.
Oh, nice. So they're all spread out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love it. So what made you move out to Colorado?
Oh gosh, I needed a change. I was just
one
there,
coast to another.
One coast to the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully I'll be going to another coast here soon, which we can talk about later.
Ooh.
But I am very drawn to the ocean. So when I came out to Colorado, it was like the reservoir and the lakes and rivers that helped me feel at home here.
Yeah.
But I moved out about really just for a change of pace, a change of community, a change of culture. Since I'm a lot more into the holistic healing modalities and world, Little Williamsburg didn't really have a whole lot for me. And I was drawn out here to maybe go pre-vet and do the vet school, but my own well-being and my own health kind of had me go down the holistic path and open up my studio instead. So there are just a lot more people that you can learn and mentor with and exchange ideas with here.
Yeah.
And then I have family down in Denver in like the Aurora area. So I knew it was like a big jump, but supported jump if needed.
I love that.
Yeah.
Supported
really,
jump.
Really great. Mm-hmm.
That's
I think
perfect.
support's really important. So
100%.
it's
Agreed.
amazing what we can do with support versus
We are very tribal beings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like so much so.
Yeah.
Like we're not meant to be isolated, and I think our culture has done a whole lot at trying to isolate us. But power comes in community, and so that's what we're trying to do. What I'm trying to do here is just kind of find the right community for myself, and then spread that out so that the world's a little lovelier.
Yeah, one interaction at a time.
Yes.
Yeah.
One interaction at a time. I think people forget how much power we hold with that one interaction. I mean, you can literally change somebody's life with a smile and like literally save their life with just being nice.
And it takes no effort. It's like it's the easiest thing to do.
It is
right. Yeah, just to have like a beautiful moment with somebody.
Yeah, and just be present with them. Kind of like what you're doing here.
Mm-hmm. I love it, right? It's in a moment in our own little bubble. Yes, a lot of background noise, but in our own little bubble, and we get to have this moment. And and I'll learn things that I never knew, right? And we just have this like shared energy for the next hour or so.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's awesome.
And I have to say, you chose like a really beautiful place to start, like in your holistic path. Like that's one of the things that I've recognized here, being here. I mean, I've been here 2 months now, 2 months, and the amount of people that I see outside in like community, like doing things, being active, like just kind of enjoying, like not being so isolated.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's built into the culture here, which I do love.
Yeah, I think we have over 80 miles of bike trails in Fort Collins, which is just wild. I'm not really an outdoor biker, but I like them for walking and like sometimes rollerblading. But yeah, not everybody, but a lot of the people here really appreciate nature and being outside and being a little more active, which is just inspiring.
It is, and regardless of weather, because it's been snowing one day and hot the next, and both days I see, a lot of people out
I am fair weather. That's why I have a beautiful studio that I can go to when it's cold and awful and snowy outside. Power to all of the outdoor weather warriors. I am not one of them.
Yeah.
I have a nice warm space,
Nice
infrared
and
light, a little hot studio. Come inside if you're one like me. Otherwise, enjoy the mountains.
Yes. So you mentioned studio. What type of studio do you have?
So we're an eclectic studio. We do yoga, aerial, and wellness. So we're like arts, health, and entertainment. Our aerial offerings are both therapeutic and circus oriented. So yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
I got to grow up and join the circus and then create more circuses, which was really fun. But we teach aerial yoga and aerial silks and sling and lyra, which is like a big metal hoop, as well as trapeze and straps. And then we have a couple of wild practitioners who do chains, which is wild.
Such a variety. I love it.
And then we do yoga. So we have like more of a therapeutic yoga as well as just like grounded small group classes. So you only ever have 8 max students with you because we really believe in people being able to get one-on-one attention in class and tailoring. I was a hypermobile, unidentified human for a long time, and doctors and PTs didn't really know what to do with me or how to help me. And so you got a lot of, you're doing great, you look awesome, but like you're not using the right muscles, you're sitting in your joints, I'm actually doing damage, I actually subluxed and partially dislocated that. And so I feel very passionately that people can access supported space without having to pay private prices. And then we have the whole wellness suite. So we have a team of like massage therapists, Reiki practitioners, yoga therapists, and we do red light therapy to help folks just overcome their obstacles, live beyond their limit, and like figure out and celebrate what they can do and how to enjoy their lives. And that's like one of my strong passions is kind of teaching people how to live beyond limit and do that celebration, because we all have stuff, but what can we do with our stuff? How can we keep living? How can we keep thriving? Because that chronic cycle kind of gets us stuck in the mud, and the mud isn't always fun.
No,
not always.
It really is.
Maybe for a minute. And then you're like, wait, no, I actually can't get out of here. So
right, you can be present in that moment, but just don't stay in it.
Yeah, exactly.
But sometimes that is more difficult for some people than others to come out of that, especially back to what we started, like the isolation of most people now, right? Like it's hard for them to come out from that.
Yeah. So we're like, here's a hand, come be yourself, come figure out what that is. There's like free offerings, there's donation offerings, and then we have regular classes and workshops. We also do transformational retreats, which is like, we've always done some, but my husband and I are about to jump into buying our own center down in the Costa Rica area. So I'll have the ocean in front of me
Oh,
all the
there
time
you go. That's
too.
what you were talking about.
Come on back. to
Yes.
it. But where it's again small, intimate groups, you can really kind of get back to yourself and realize that you're pretty freaking awesome, even with whatever's going on, and that we do have those tools available.
Love that.
Yeah.
I mean, it is so true, right? 'Cause there's so many people that get caught in the moment of like whatever's going on in life or stress or, I mean, lifing right now. Adulting is hard.
Well, yeah, and it's by design. I think a lot of our culture is designed to be really fast paced and production oriented, but like we are production, we are creativity itself.
Mm-hmm.
We start realizing that we're already doing it, that living and being is the point. We can start breaking apart some of those like limiting cycles and boxes we put ourselves into and be like, wow, do I even like this box? What do I do if I don't like it? And there are a bunch of people in this world who will like me if I step outside of this box, and celebrate me even. So I think it's super important to take that time.
Yeah, becoming like your true authentic self.
Yeah, we need so much more of that.
We do. We really do, especially now more than ever.
Yeah, I think they said, researchers have said authenticity more than love, more than joy, more than gratitude is like the best thing for your nervous system, for your immune system, for like absolutely everything. So I think a lot of people don't know what that is.
Yeah. But it makes sense because there are some people that you come around and you immediately feel safe.
Yeah.
You know, I've been called like a lighthouse for a lot of people because I tend to do that. I just love people, and I think that just exuberates, right? There's no like mechanism behind it. But I haven't realized that. Like I tend to like calm people down, and then when I'm around certain people, I can tell whether like I'm becoming like more anxious, and all of a sudden like your nerves are firing different. You don't know why. Everything seems to be okay with the person. And I think a lot of that comes back down to like the people that are real. Like if you're real, and I know like what I see is what I get, right?
Yeah.
Then immediately I know I can calm down. There is no face, there's no pretending, there's no putting on a show or anything like that, or where my brain has to wonder.
Yeah, and I think the world just needs more people where you can just be. Where you don't have to put a mask on. You can like take those masks off. And just be welcomed for being, not judged, or told to go back in the box.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us probably in the arts and wellness industry, maybe in marketing as well, were maybe told we were like a little too much, we were a lot.
I think as women.
Yeah, and as women, definitely as women. Even currently now in our society with women and how we're being treated on the public stage, how many women have to speak up before we're heard. Having any space where you can speak up and be heard and be encouraged to speak up and be encouraged to be seen, and then celebrated for being seen and for being brave and for being vulnerable is just really, really special.
And supported.
Yeah.
Being in that community where you are supported regardless.
Yeah. Yeah. So we try to do that, both in like classes, and then we do a monthly variety show for any artist in the Northern Colorado area. So if you're listening and you're an artist, please reach out. We do comedy, spoken word, voice, musicians, dancers, flow artists, of course, our circus artists. And we've had like skaters and all sorts of fun stuff. And we try to give a stage to everyone almost once a month. It's a little less. It's more like 10 times a year, where it's just like a donation entry for folks. And the artists get paid. They get professional photos and just like a really supported stage to be seen.
Yeah.
Because we need that.
Are you doing it this month coming up?
This month we have our Pride Arts and Wellness Festival on May 31st. So we do have a bunch of different performers. It's a little different format. And then we have an 18 and up spicy Pride show on June 20th, which we will ID for. So please don't buy tickets unless you are able to buy tickets as an 18 and up, where we do drag and aerial and burlesque at that show,
So
which is
fun.
just like really fun.
Yeah.
We usually pull in a couple of drag artists for that. We teach them some circus arts and like create some doubles acts, and yeah, so it's like really fun. And we usually kind of like scholarship those artists so that they get to try some of the circus arts and have a nice supportive community. And then we throw a big party and a big show,
So
which
fun.
is delightful. I'm super biased about it, but it's fabulous.
I mean, yeah. Hopefully you love it.
Yeah.
That you put this together.
I do love it.
What's the date of it?
June 20th is the 18 and up Spicy Pride.
Okay.
And then our Pride Arts and Wellness Festival is on May 31st from 2 to 6 at our studio, which is 353 West Drake, Suites 130 and 40. It'll be out front and out back. And then there are wellness classes throughout during the event in our studio.
Awesome.
Tons of vendors, food trucks.
And it's a really cool way for like the community to get a feel for what you guys are doing. It's like a showcase almost, right?
It is a showcase. So we definitely have some of our students, teachers, and artists performing throughout the day, and then we again bring in some like musicians and different businesses and performers in town that will be highlighting their work. And then there's a big vendor and artisan expo. We show a few of them in the studio, like monthly in our shop. But we really try to create these vendor events for folks who don't have a storefront to see all the really cool stuff that's going on in Fort Collins and in northern Colorado. Because art makes the world a better place.
It really does.
And if we're going to produce something, if we're going to spend our energy doing something, I think the things that make the world a little more beautiful and expressive are definitely worthwhile.
Yeah, definitely.
So, it is a sober festival as well. I think there are tons of Pride festivals, and they're all amazing. They all serve a big purpose, but we really try to differentiate by not having alcohol at the event.
It's focused on the art.
It's on the art, not on the wellness aspect. So that you can feel comfortable coming and know that it's not going to be around you if that's the thing. And so you don't have to be around other people ingesting if that's also a thing that you want to just not be around. Very family-friendly environment. There'll be some interactive art and lessons as well.
That's awesome. So now, is all that information on your website?
It is. Yeah, if you just go to livebeyondlimit.com and pop over to the menu, there's a whole tab for Pride. It will say everything, the schedule of events, and we'll start to release and really promote all of our vendors here in the next week or two as we lead up to it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a lot of work with like circus related. So how did that get introduced to your life?
Well, I always wanted to join the circus. My aunt, Mary Jo, was a part of a traveling Ringling Brothers. And so every time she came to town, we would go to the circus. I absolutely loved it. Loved all of the aerial artists. They were like my favorite thing ever.
Right.
And then I was a gymnast and I was a dancer and I did cheer and things like that. But I had severely hurt my neck as like a hypermobile human, and had kind of like jacked my back up. And so like the first time that I was introduced to circus, I wasn't allowed to do anything in like the treatment, and I was like really sad about that. Sorry if I just banged you guys. But I found a really great neuromuscular dentist. He stabilized my jaw. I figured out I was a hypermobile human and started treating myself as so and taking care of myself, and focusing more on stability. And it came back around when I was going to open up my studio. Originally, it was just going to be yoga and wellness. And a gal who was into circus found my ad for nutrition and my high ceilings and asked if I wanted to partner with her to bring it to town.
Mm,
And I was like,
absolutely.
yes. Everything in my body was like, yes, let's make it happen. What do we need to do?
Yeah.
I have to reinforce ceilings, whatever, that's fine. I already did some work. We'll just go back over it, make it, safe and fun. And so kind of dove head in. She trained me, and we brought a couple other teachers in. And then with my injury prevention and corrective exercise background, we kind of took those programs and made them a little more progressive and a little more adaptable. So it was a little less monkey see, monkey do, and let's figure out how we do it well for our bodies.
Yes.
And so it's just progressed along the way, and that's how I built the aerial yoga teacher training and program that we have, and how we've just slowly cultivated and expanded our circus arts. But yeah,
That's so cool.
Just
Yeah,
the universe
aerial.
bringing
Yes,
it to me as soon as I was allowed off restriction for my neck and my stability. And it was just like, here you go. You wanted to join the circus. Like, thanks, universe.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be. It just had to
Just
spiral
needed a
back
few-
around another time.
Time and place, right?
Time and place.
It's always kind of, it just depends on that.
Mm-hmm.
For the hypermobile,
Uh-huh.
for those of us that are not aware or familiar with what that is, what exactly does that mean?
Yeah, so there are two categories. There's hypermobility spectrum disorder, which they know a little less about, and then Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And both categories have like atypical collagen and immune system responses. And so basically it means, one of like my favorite ways to think about it is people with hypermobility often have their collagen is like a little pile of spaghetti, and left to its own device, it will do naughty things and or not hold us very stable. Whereas your collagen is probably looks like a nice ordered structure everywhere around your joints, or is it just going like, oh,
Maybe today I'll do
what's
this.
doing it? Maybe we'll do this. Maybe we'll just stretch a little further over here. And so people with hypermobility have to work a little bit more cautiously in their progressions and their loading, because our collagen just doesn't respond the same way. Our muscle fibers will grow a lot stronger, faster than our connective tissue. So our tendons and our ligaments. And so a lot of people will accidentally shear muscle off of their bone because their muscle's so strong, but their tendons aren't. Or certain forms of hypermobility will have like vascular issues. And so they have a hard time getting blood where it needs to go in the body because there's more laxity in those vessels. So different like comorbidities are things like POTS or POTS syndrome, where people will get orthostatic tachycardia when they stand up. Their heart rate will do crazy things, and they'll feel really faint. Sometimes they might even pass out or feel nauseous because their body can't put the fluids where it needs to go when it needs to go there. And it's not really that great at pressure management or managing those changes. Other morbidities or comorbidities are mast cell activation syndrome, which your mast cells are like your cell danger response, and they're in all of your connective tissue, in all of your organ systems. And so for a hypermobile human, a lot of the times their body doesn't exactly know where it is in space, and that's your primary survival skill. And so sometimes that can systemically kind of trigger the system to then having an inappropriate mast cell response, because it kind of thinks it's in danger when it's not in danger, or it might overreact. And same thing, it can lead to like functional neurologic disease or central sensitization, where just like the brain and the body's communication has kind of gone awry. And so like there might not be a structural problem that they can see on scans, but like the communication isn't time, tempo, place, kind of like we were talking about before. But that's not happening on the inside. And so I specialize in working with like the whole suite. We call them dysautonomias, when your autonomic or your supposedly automatic nervous system is kind of messing up a little bit. And for a lot of the hypermobile, that will also happen because their upper cervical, like where their brain and skull and spine meet, is just not stable. And so they're getting shifts in pressure and blood flow and fluid flow, headaches all the time. Sometimes it can lead to like facial pain and chronic like asthma and things like that, because we're just having constant tension on nerve branches and things like that. So yeah, hypermobility, it's just like such a charmer, and it's so confusing because a lot of people will have symptoms across so many organ systems that it just depends on who you see in the traditional realms to say, oh, well, you went to a gastroenterologist, they're going to say you have IBS and give you support for IBS, or
it's all looked at like
looking
individually.
at it. But if we start looking at, well, what's happening across all the systems, we can often start to see that maybe there is like a connective tissue component, since that is the glue to everything. And then start treating people appropriately, because it's not that our collagen's bad, it just means different feedback to be stable and strong. And we need to work a little more honestly at maintaining our pressures. Our bodies are a little more telling when we're being naughty to ourselves, so like when we're collapsing or not giving ourselves space, which you can take out of your body and into your life too. Often we'll see that happening as well. It's like a parallel. We don't create space in our life, we don't create space in our body. Yeah, we work on both sides.
Yeah, it's all related. So now you know like so much about it, and thank you for the beautiful description.
You're welcome.
Is this because you dove into it once you realized you were, or you were okay?
Yes, I became non-functional, and I was the person who fell through the cracks. So in college, I loved school, I loved studying. I wanted to be a veterinarian initially, but I started getting really, really sick and having like cyclical migraines. They were never quite typical migraines, but they would start with like an aura, and then like chronic pain, and then facial pain, and then I just like could not stop vomiting. And I would start dosing out of all the rescue meds they gave me. I had to give myself shots. I still end up in the ER. And like we didn't know what was going on. And I had already previously been working with people for like GI issues and for spine issues. And at 15, my spine looked like an 80-year-old with degeneration. But they just said, oh, look at that. And never addressed it.
Yeah.
And then in college, I was just trying to maintain my insurance, and I found yoga in like one of my 1-credit classes to keep my policy active. But it took my pain from like a 9, I don't know what you're saying to me, hold on, I'm going to go throw up, to like a 5 where I could like function and like remember some things and remember where I was, and start like giving me my life back. And that's when I started to really dive into the yoga, and like say, oh, okay, I'm all in, game on, let's figure out this whole nervous system energy management thing. And then a neuromuscular dentist who just happened to be a friend's father, at like a random party, is the person who kind of taught me how absolutely connected we are. And he was like, just come into my office, let's just like do a consult and see. And he started just like rattling things off as he was looking at my mouth and jaw, because he works a lot with hypermobile folks, and they tend to have like a higher palate, and we can do really weird stuff with our alignment, with our jaw and our neck. And so he had me work with an upper cervical chiropractor who was all soft, like vibrational manipulation and red light therapy, cold laser. And then he used like jaw tracking to realign my jaw.
Mm-hmm.
I subsequently had a car accident and had to have somebody else do the orthodontia and like the stability work. But within 2 weeks, I went from migraines 5 out of 7 days to 1.
Wow.
And he made me see an acupuncturist as well and start learning about energy and like how to work with my body. And I like can thank him for just going down the whole luge run of anything and everything alternative. And just like how interconnected we are. Because the first time I walked into the acupuncturist, she was like, "Let me see your tongue." I guess that have to do with anything. Coming from
Getting
like
personal real quick.
Right? That's so weird. But she was like, "Well, you either have ulcers or you're a cereal iced tea drinker." And I was like exactly a cereal iced tea drinker. I mean, I had like a big 20 plus ounce 1 or 2 times a day. And so I just like started cracking up. And the first session, she took the little needles out of my back, and I was just like, "Put them back in." I feel so good. Like, just leave it there.
Yeah.
And just realized that I was like really in tune with energy, and I like didn't know what that was because the world doesn't teach you about that. And they said it was like pseudoscience until really recently, where they started publishing all of these awesome studies about frequency medicine and Reiki, and how actually absolutely definitively impactful and healing they are. And so yeah, I just like dove on in.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And so is this what you've always done then
Yeah, pretty much.
in this world?
Yeah, I mean, I was a barista for a little bit. I worked at Hallmark. I worked with vet medicine and like animal shelters. But as soon as I found this in college, I just exchanged a lot of time and like volunteer work, and they helped me get certified. And then I just continued to like pursue trainings and things on my own. When I first found energy here, I just like laughed hysterically because I was like, "What? Reiki? What is this? This is magic." I had only found the acupuncture out east. That was 20 years ago now. So it's come a long way.
Yeah. Well, and you know, even like in the last 8 years, it's definitely like evolved even more. Because I kind of had the same reaction the first time I heard about Reiki too, and I was like, "What magic are we talking about?" But I have to say, like being a business owner and like kind of coming out of the box of the career path and the hustle and the grind and the 9 to 5 and all that.
Yeah.
And coming out of it and being in business myself, like it's opened me up to so many other things that I have become aware of. Right.
Yeah.
Like, paid more attention to energy. The Reiki, like it's all just energy work and just like your mindset, how you feel, your space, who you talk to, right?
Yeah.
And it all is kind of like all encompassing.
Well, we are energy.
We are. We are.
We're like the most dense form of it, right? Like we've got density to it, but we are energy. So when you start using it in your everyday, man, things start opening up, and it's really cool. Our teacher training is like based on those principles. Where you see a lot of the training start at the root chakra, which is matter and physical form and foundation, and they work their way up to the crown. I'm like, that's literally the hardest way to do it. So we start at the crown and then work our way down. So like you're connecting to the energetics of everything and then making it physical. So there's a little less resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is a process, right? It's almost
it's like total process.
Yeah, because it's like a stage like that you go through. Because as I think too, like as individuals, like as you work through each of these things, and it's kind of like the peeling back the layers of the onion, situation where you are actually. I had a guest recently. She described it in such a more beautiful way, kind of like an unveiling. Right? Like an unveiling each layer, like you remove like one of the veils and then you see a little clearer, you understand a little more, and then you kind of like work your way like through the remaining process.
Yeah, I love the like observation effect for the science-minded out there, where you can look at something from one angle and it looks like a straight line, and then you change the plane and you see it's like a sideways spiral that's coning outward, and then you look at it from above and it's just a circle. And yeah, it's just like, what's your perspective? What shift are we into? What are we getting to see this time around? And
the different
what do
experiences.
we want to do with it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so cool.
It's funny. One of the other beautiful moments I had about understanding energy. So I shared with you, my son is now 21.
Mm-hmm.
When he was like 12, 13, like we went through a really like tough patch. Is like, you know, kind of happens a lot when you have like a teenager in the house and identifying what you're doing. But we had a really bad like fight one night, and I didn't want to like apologize because I didn't want it to. I mean, I wanted to apologize, but I also didn't want to remove what I was saying. Like maybe the way I said what I said wasn't right.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's not the details. So we were kind of in this moment of friction. And I used to drive along the beach, speaking of like oceans and stuff, along the beach in Florida, kind of like at nighttime. It was like the way like I clear my head, just kind of like just driving and just seeing the beauty, like windows down and like breathing like salt in the air, right? It was always like really, really clearing for me.
Yeah.
And so in that moment when I was upset with him, I brought him, I like put him in the car and I was like, we're not talking until we get to our destination, like put on some music.
Nice.
And so he put on like high energy music, right? Which again, none of this stuff I understood in the moment. And it's just my mind, it was just like, I don't want to have a discussion until we're like in a place where I need to. So he put on some high energy music. So we're kind of like jamming out on the way to the beach. We get to the beach, it's nighttime, it's full moon. And we get on the sand and we just like stand at the waves. And then we sat there and we like shared, you know, I opened up about like how I was feeling about like that particular conversation and like our friction and the argument and stuff. And then he opened up so beautifully, and it was a magical moment, like to the point where to this day, if he has something that he wants to like discuss that's like emotional or something really important, like we go to the beach together and we like have this conversation.
I love that.
Beautiful. And then now like looking back, or even maybe like a year later, then I learned about grounding, the energy of like full moon, obviously like in the waves, and then like even just listening to the music, right? Like that high frequency. So all of these things that we were working on that energy without even realizing, like, you know, just increasing our vibrations as we were going to the beach. And then it just kind of allowed us to just be in that space and centered, and just, we let it all out, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, and to be able to share your own perspectives on the situation and say, well, I was experiencing and looking at it from this side, and you were experiencing and looking at it from this side, like, because I think so much in life that happens, or like so much conflict happens because we don't realize that two simultaneous truths exist.
Your whole perspective example, exactly that.
Yeah, and so, you know, how you guys can use frequency to create the space to be able to see from other perspectives. It's just really, that's beautiful.
Yeah. And then the frequency work beyond that. So with Reiki, like that just works like internally for yourself, which then puts you in a place where you're able to have more clarity. Yeah,
and you can use Reiki on anything, which is really cool. If you're like, say you don't want to be a Reiki practitioner, like, you can just use it on your life. It's really just learning how to become an energetic channel instead of like a sponge. And therefore you can act like a tuning fork for kind of any of the intentions you're trying to work with. And then you can restore your own biofield as well as others just around you. I routinely will just like open up a channel whenever just like someone in my life is having a time. And there's like a lot of energy coming at you. You can kind of feel waves, or you're almost like, whoo.
Yeah.
And you just like open it and let it move so it doesn't have to come at you so much, you know, when it just like helps you be a little more of a witness, a little more of a steady rock for whatever you're checking out in front of you. It's such a beautiful access and tool, I think, to be able to work with.
And I think it's necessary, for one. I myself have always been a very empathetic person, but I have been more of a sponge than a channel, right? And I still work on that to this day, where I just get caught in the moment and I'm just
Yeah.
there and absorbing it all for the person. Have you ever seen, there's like a cartoon that went around for a while where it was like there's a person about to jump off a bridge, and like the person's like all colored in black, and then the person hugs them, they take it out, and then at the end of the day it's a dog that like, you know, helps balance it out between a person, where you're just kind of like absorbing, and it just like fills up this tank, and at the end of the day you're just like, wow, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's very, very draining. But it is also learning to, like you said, turning that more into a channel is a practice in and of itself.
Yeah, it's like it's a muscle.
Yeah.
Right? It's a muscle that you just have to practice. It can become really easy for a lot of people, but it can also be very like challenging because we have our own biases and opinions, and like we have our own feelings and energies that we bring into different situations. So it can always be a little unique working with those things. But yeah, and at the end of the day, if you are a little bit of a sponge, I hope I bless everybody with the opportunity to have a little grounding practice to give that back to the field, to like let it out of yourself, take your backpack off.
Yes.
Unweight yourself, whatever it might be. That's beautiful.
Yeah. And so in your studio, really break down like each one. So you do a lot of the yoga work. So I love how you mentioned that you do like smaller classes so that you can get individualized support, because in my experience, so I have a back injury from 8 years ago, and I've tried some yoga practices, and some of them were like in, you know, larger groups, and there's, you know, like maybe 20, 30 people in the room. And there's some of the movements. Now, I'm like partly competitive, so like I want to keep up with everyone in the room, right? So that's partly my fault, because I probably do things that I shouldn't do. But also there wasn't the instruction or the guidance to be like, hey, if you're feeling, you know, strain here or pain there, like then you should do like this level, right? And I think there's so many different variations that you can do within the yoga practice to move so that each person then feels themselves. So this is part of why you do more of like that individualized within a group, but still you can kind of keep an eye on everyone.
Yeah, so you can keep an eye on everyone. You can try to help them make sure they're doing it right. When I first started teaching yoga, I taught at a gym, like a college gym, and then I taught at like the big practice studios like Miramont, Genesis. Now it's French, but you'd have 40 people in your class or 50 people in your class, and like there's literally no way I can offer safety cues specific to each person. Like it's just like a very general experience, which has its place because it's like this lovely energy. It's like we're moving frequency, like that's what we're working with. But we can get so much more specific. And I started working with a lot of one-on-one clients in those environments that, you know, have been practicing for 10 years. And then we work one-on-one, or I got to like, they became a client because I did get to them in a class, and we realized that bridge they've been doing for 10 years, they never had their glutes on for, or their hamstrings weren't present, and their quads were just doing all the work, exacerbating the knee issue that they were doing the bridges for to begin with, you know? And so like having the time and space to really check in with like what's working, is it working? Because again, as a hypermobile human, my body is really good at cheating. Like, it's really good at sitting in itself and finding stability with its like little guys instead of its big, strong movers. And so that's hard over time. And so our classes really make sure that you get a little individualized attention so that we can offer those different options. You know, yoga originally, and yoga is still like community of self. And so if I'm practicing a practice that's really for someone else and for their goals and intentions, you know, that's doing a disservice in the long term. And so like we really strive and are lucky with our studio and our space to be able to offer those small classes so that we can say, hey, option one, we're going to be here. 2, if you feel really stable, let's try here. And 3, as long as you can breathe, maybe we're going to this place. And then, modeling at one of the lower levels of access so that everybody can get what they need out of the class. Because, I think a lot of the world is high fire, high productivity, high, we're getting there to do our work, to do it. But like a lot of people have a lot of fire.
Yeah.
And so, a practice that actually like brings more grounding or, slows them down or asks them to do something else will, really be more beneficial long term. And in a small class, you can make sure to say, hey, I noticed you come to all of our power classes and you're exhausted all the time. What about maybe trying the yin class or the slow flow, just to dial back your nervous system and like have that space and access to explain why. Because education is power, and like most of us do what we're doing because it's been what we were taught or thought we should do. But like, they're even learning about women's bodies, and intersex folks with like mixed hormone profiles, that like traditional training schedules are really aggressive and less beneficial. Like we'll get less results by doing that. And if we dial back our scale and give ourselves actually more rest. So that's kind of wild. And it's nice
not all about
to
like
be able
hustle
to
and
do
grind.
that. No, not all about hustle and
in
grind.
between.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, we have I just realized I was like calling in our guest here without you guys realizing, but we have a second guest that's been with us this whole time. Meet Calypso.
She's at all of my classes. She saved my life after a head injury. So I've only had her about 5 years.
Yeah.
But I had a bad head injury at the former Bed Bath & Beyond, with like a metal bar coming off the shelf and hitting me.
Oh no.
And they just like missed treating the vestibular aspect of that injury. So I basically just like inflamed my injury for a couple of years. And yeah, it was very tough. And we had started a new treatment for neurofeedback, which she's just going to be a curled up ball here.
Yeah.
For neurofeedback that just made my brain like really different every week, and it made me really not okay. And so one week I felt bipolar, the next week I had racing thoughts and all intrusive thoughts, and the next week it was suicidal type of thoughts, and I've never had those. And so that was scary, and I was about to check myself in to a hospital, and my stepdaughter, my beautiful daughter, called me and lied to me. She worked at a animal shelter called Animal Friends Alliance in town, and was like, there's this dog here that's we need to test in play group, but everybody else is sick, so can you bring my dog, her dog Flambeau, to the shelter because he's such a good boy, and we'll see how she does. No, they have plenty of dogs. They had plenty of dogs that could have done play group. She just knew I needed her, and she just like came straight up to my leg and was like little glued to me. And then I called my husband and was like, I need this dog. So we got a dog. And she was really sick, and so she and I kind of healed each other. It took me a long time to get through a meal, and she had to be hand fed for like a couple years. So we both healed ourselves together. It's been a little journey, and she helps me travel a lot because I still have a kind of sensitive vestibular system. It's still healing. Your vestibular system is like your body's ability to know where it is in space.
Okay.
Which is your base level survival, right? If you don't know where your head is in space, it's really hard to keep yourself from dying and having a head injury. And after a head injury, your body really prioritizes that. So she sits on me just like this on the plane and in the car and all over, and helps me be a functional person on the other side of the trip, which is really great. Before we had to take a lot of stops. I had a lot of throwing up and a lot of unpleasant symptoms. And now we barely have to stop. and then I'm just like a nice human on the other side instead of a frazzled crazy person, which is great.
That is helpful.
Yeah.
So does she join you when you do yoga as well? Like you said, she's in the studio a lot.
Yep, she is in all of my classes. So she has little beds throughout the studio that she mostly hangs out on. So she is very intuitive. So she will go visit who seems to need her the most. She like chooses. She's like, Mom, you're fine. This person needs
more.
I'm gonna go lay next to them. Or I'm gonna awkwardly give them a kiss while they're in their shavasana. Or they're opening. I always make sure it's okay.
Yeah.
We'll tender and gauge who's in the room and whether or not that's
beautiful moments.
That's a good thing for her. Yeah, and for them. I think she brings a lot of joy. Yeah. So, and she's just like gorgeous.
Yes, she is.
Like the universe made her. I'm a double Libra. I'm a Libra Sagittarius. Like if there was ever a Libra dog, gorgeous black and white, balanced ears, pretty makeup, little eyeliner.
She's got her makeup.
Got the beauty.
Yeah. And she's a sweetheart. Absolute sweetheart. Like she literally sat here the whole time, like just quiet, taking a nap, like just hanging out.
Yeah,
saying hi to everybody that walks by.
Yeah, when people coo at her, she'll coo back at them. But otherwise, she's pretty chill. There we go.
There you go. No, she's laying down like that. Okay, so yoga we talked about, and then so the aerial work. Like, what are the kind of things that you see, like when people go through these aerial classes? Because it's not something very common.
Yeah. Well, we do social and professional circus. So social circus is like fitness based. It's all about having fun, feeling empowered, like literally being able to fly. That's what I asked my teacher the first time when I was like hysterically laughing in the air. Was how does it feel to make dreams come true? Because I got to fly.
Right.
And so part of it is just like having fun and like learning what your body can do. Yeah. As I used to be a personal trainer alongside the yoga, and I trained pull-ups like my whole life, and I could never ever do them until aerial because it's like so fun and so freeing, and you use your whole body in everything pretty much. That after 4 months of aerial, I got my pull-ups for the first time, which is awesome. So we have like fitness-based and foundation-based classes and intro and like L1 classes for folks who just like love doing it. And then we do like L1 at 0.5 and 2 for performance. And we do a couple of really big productions every year. One is the Pride production. In February, we do a circus, which is, based off of Valentine's Day and very bougie themed. And in the fall, we do a huge production called Major Arcana based off of the tarot deck. And so we have all of our performers draw a tarot card in the summer, and then they kind of work with that card for a few months and build their routines
around it.
Yeah, and then we do a huge day long like showcase and vendor fair, kind of highlighting all of like the witchy vendors, the metaphysical vendors, and all the tarot readers and like oracle readers in town at the Lyric, which is a really fun venue. If you have an opportunity to pop by it while you're in town, it's totally worth it.
I drive by it every day because it's like down at the end of like college.
Yeah, we love their art vibe. We do it in the yards. We have like all the really cool art in the caboose, and we put up our aerial rigs and throw a big party. It's really fun. And then we are hired out. So like this year we're gonna do some of the entertainment for like Tour de Fat, and we just did like a circus in the square with Art Week to bring circus arts to the community, which is really fun. But we'll do like parties and stuff too, which makes it a good time.
Yeah. Do you guys do like I used to work for in the wedding industry and stuff for some different vendors. And I know a lot of people like will get either like for a party or for a wedding or something. They usually get some like kind of performance acts. Like, do you guys do that kind of work as well?
Yes, we love that type of work. So if you have an event coming up and you want some gorgeous artists or someone to take it up a notch or two, we have 3 portable aerial rigs so that we can do those events, and then beam clamps for people who have buildings built for aerial. Not every building is built for it, which is why we have those portable rigs to do.
Yeah.
But we have like silks that we only break out for those events, which is really fun. Yeah. Usually like the bright white ones, you know, because they look gorgeous with all the lights and patterns and things going off of it. And then we've done aerial for festivals and for musicians. Like we've been at the Aggie a bunch of times doing, which is a theater in town.
Okay.
So they do live music a lot, and then they'll have a band on one side of the stage, and we'll have our aerialists up with them, which is really fun. Yeah, so we just love doing private events.
Yeah.
We also like being hams.
Yeah.
Anytime to get makeup and full makeup and costume.
Like down for it.
Yes, exactly.
I love how everything that you offer, like in your studio, is so well connected to. It's almost like the full circle. So you could do like the warm up with the yoga to the aerial to then the recovery afterwards, right? With the Reiki and massage therapy. What else is it that you offer there?
So all of our memberships include unlimited red light therapy. We have like a red light therapy lounge upstairs, and like a recovery bike. People use it for warm up or after things. But red light therapy is really great for collagen production. Sensing a theme here.
Yeah.
As well as like inflammation, reducing any like chronic pain issues or nerve issues. It's really helped with like repairing tissues and increasing that circulation. So that's part of like our recovery suite. We also offer like private sound baths and group sound baths. Again, going into frequency medicine and different tools there. Periodically, we do like cacao ceremonies and more like rituals and things. And we can do private events for those too. Or we do social things. So like this Sunday, we have salsa. We work with 2 different salsa companies in town, the Salsa Collective and Marcella Lay, to bring salsa twice a month. And so usually the 3rd Sunday of the month, it's from 4 to 8. And so there's like a lesson in the first hour. If you don't know how to salsa, they teach you. Sometimes they teach a few dances. We see how we go.
Yeah.
And then from 5 to 8 is like social dancing. And everybody's really friendly. So if you miss the lesson, like come anyway. People will teach you and have fun with you.
Awesome.
And then the last Friday night of the month is Marcella and Donald, who do like an awesome lesson and a live DJ as well. And that's from 7:30 to 11 for the night owl. We also have fun dancing, so bring in the shenanigans.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever do anything with line dancing?
We have a group that rents from us currently for line dancing, and I am trying to get a little bit of line dancing. We're going to do a trial class to see who's interested, what they might be interested in, what level of dancing, because there's like a whole stratosphere of how easy or hard or accessible the dancing is.
Exactly.
But they currently come and do like 30 high level crazy dances once a month, and then like just have fun going through them all over a couple of hours. They're amazing.
That's awesome.
It is.
I love line dancing. It's one of the things that I try to do. Like, because you talk about doing aerial is like fun, but it's also like a workout.
Yeah.
Right. I took line dancing. My mom was started teaching classes down in Florida, and I went to go like be a body in the room, like to help her and like promote her. And like I started doing it, and I was like, this is fun. I was like, this is a really good workout too. I was like, I'm sweating and I was like out of breath. Like by the end of it, my legs were sore, and I'm like, this is my kind of workout. Like I would love to have something fun and energetic. Music, of course, involves. And I do love like the community around it too. Like 'cause wherever you go, it's just like everyone kind of, like you said, helps each other out. You know?
Exactly. And the line dancing is fun because like there's a language that crosses wherever you go. Like most people know the lingo a little bit, or like the song comes on and they all know it. It's just fun. But we also have a gal who teaches women's floor dance, like floor flow technique. So
Mhm.
it's like heels. So like really empowering, saucy dancing. That can be like really fun, and it's like deceptively challenging and hard. Like you
Yeah.
don't know how hard you're working till the next day.
Right. Yeah.
Then you're like, wow, I did a lot. And she also teaches that with lira, set like a lot lower to the ground, which the lira is the metal hoop that we teach, and so she breaks out the heels and does all of that fun stuff. And there's contemporary and belly dancing and a little bit of bar. Though I would say bar is the least fun.
Right. I was like, of all of the things that you
that one's
offer.
not the fun one. That's a little more structured and like do your stability work.
Right.
Slow it down and get more focused.
Yeah. Maybe
the
like
other,
the prep.
but the
for
other
the
ones
others.
were all like very fun for a dance as well. I think dance is proven time and time again to be like the number one way to like help yourself.
Yeah.
It's free. You can do it anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You
Gets
need-
all the
if you
body
need
movement
support-
and circulation going, and
Almost everywhere you go, people are going to support you in dancing. Like, just be yourself.
you don't have to be great. You don't have to.
No.
Although I am still working on that. So like I loved going dancing when I was younger, like going to the clubs at night. Much prefer to be like in the middle of the dance floor, like practice like the energy and everyone kind of moving. But there was always like the woman like in the center, kind of like in her own space and mind that I have like I guess I envy, you know, like I watched like pretty much every night there would be like one person just like kind of in their own like moment, which was so beautiful. Like I aspire to that. Like some of those blocks and boxes that were put in, and I'm like, I'm not comfortable, confident, whatever enough to be like that person, but I will be.
Yeah.
I will be.
Yeah.
Line dancing helps with that also.
You're inspired by it. It's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I did learn most recently, like, you know, when we're doing new things and it's awkward and uncomfortable, like that is the point. The awkward and uncomfortable is the feeling that your brain and your body makes when it makes new connections. So like gotta get a little uncomfortable. So you're like, I try to tell myself, look at how awkward and uncomfortable I am. I'm like, I'm learning so much right now. I'm staving off dementia.
Yeah.
Helping my brain out.
Yeah. Building new things, new
Get
connections.
there. One day it will be smooth, and those little pathways will walk it down and figure it out.
Right.
But yeah, anytime I go to a dance class, I'm like, I'm going to be that person that's figuring it out here. I learn a little more slowly.
Yeah.
So we're just going to figure it out, and everybody's going to be so supportive and fun.
I feel like we should make a t-shirt that says like awkward and comfortable. You know what I mean?
I love that. I would, yeah.
I think it would help like
awkward and comfortable.
motivate. Yeah.
Mhm.
I do love
I love that. That's really great.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good one.
It is so necessary though, like you said, to kind of overcome those little challenges. Like even me, like traveling, I go to different places. I'll like go to different coffee shops and work from. I meet strangers for podcasts. Right? Each moment though, it's like very nerve wracking. Like before it.
Yeah.
Because again, your brain, our bodies are built on that. Like anything outside of what we're doing is like danger. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so your brain will like feed you all kinds of reasons and things like why you shouldn't do the things. And every time I go over that, even like driving to a destination that I've never driven to before, right? Like every single time, it's just like, you know what? Like, you're good. You survived. You got this new moment, this new experience.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna die from these challenges or these moments of say unsurety. That's not the word.
Discomfort. The
Yeah.
unknown.
The unknown, exactly. And for each time, like I feel like it like chisels a little bit away of that shield, you know, that goes around you.
Yeah. Well, I love that. And I feel the same. And they, you know, like new experiences are what heals the brain. So like, you know, when we've been stuck in cycles that are just, we don't like, right? When we're stuck in depression or anxiety, or when we keep reliving our traumas or finding ourselves in weird little situations, like those are the experiences that like unlock your brain to be limitless, to like to find your freedom, to find your wholeness again, because like we do prioritize that safety and that comfort so much. And I think so many of us probably were told to be a little quieter or a little more hidden or a little more obedient or to fall a little more in line or to maybe follow somebody else's dream, right? And so we like learn to hide so many of those layers, but like letting ourselves have those novel experiences and then the reinforcement of like, good job, you did it, like, oh my gosh, and I'm alive,
Right.
wow, like,
And I'm better for it.
and I'm better for it. And like it was actually a cool experience. And wow, I would have missed out on that if I didn't do that and I didn't get a little uncomfortable. And it just like opened so many things up. It's just so cool.
Yeah.
I just love the awkward and comfortable. I like that. I think that might have to happen. Awkward and comfortable.
That is perfect.
We have 1 month coming up. Don't take this from me, please.
Mhm.
But we're designing an equal opportunity aerialist shirt because in the aerial world, folks really like to train one side. And it's a running joke through teachers to be like, all right, nice. Did you do your other side? And then it's just grumbles and grumbles. And so I, ever since I started teaching, said, we're in an equal opportunity aerialist community here. You've got to do your other side so that we don't create all the imbalances and all the weird stuff. But
Love it.
also the little double entendre of like anyone and everyone gets to try to do this and can do this. And this last weekend I got to get a amazing, inspiring gal who is a paraplegic. And so she has very limited function in her lower body, but is such a fierce badass in her upper body. And so we got her in the fabrics, we got her upside down, she got herself lifted and like doing all sorts of different stuff, like really decompressing her spine and starting to feel more things too as we give it again new experiences, confidence, reinforcement, opportunity. She was looking really like longingly, and I just asked, "Are you ambulatory? You want to try it?" And she just lit up like a Christmas tree, like, and said, "I knew when you asked me if I was ambulatory that you would have my back, and that this would be an okay thing." So we always got to figure some stuff out, but that's how it is for everybody. Just figure out how to support ourselves, how to feel good, and have new awkward experiences that get us more and more comfortable in life.
Yes, exactly. It's like the theme. I like it.
Yeah. Figure out how you work.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I feel like we could go on and talk for like hours more.
I do too. You're fabulous.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So are you. But I do know we're in an hour here, or a little over an hour. So I do want to wrap us up here. We're going to continue talking off camera. But for anyone that wants to work with Kate or want to learn more about what she does, like her website's been going around the bottom here this whole episode. So definitely please check it out. Yes. And then also, do you have, before we officially wrap up, do you have any last words of wisdom that you would like to share?
The world needs you. Please, please, please be yourself. Take time to uncover who that is. And I think for especially the like healers or caretakers that might be listening, my favorite little bit of advice is stop holding space for people and just create it and let them be there. You're great creators anyway, so like put that backpack down, put that load down, and just be yourself in the space you created with the people that you love, and see what might happen for you.
Oh, so beautiful.
Thanks.
I can't top that. On that note, take those words of advice seriously. Really take that in. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.